Hey guys, I want to do a quick review on attachment theory and then move into some parenting styles. So I need everyone to make sure you're ready to go. So from yesterday, I said that I want everyone to be engaged. That means having your textbooks ready, your study guides, your notebooks. So take a moment and then hit play when you are ready to learn. Okay, so it looks like you're ready. So yesterday I introduced John Bowlby, Harry Harlow, and Mary Ainsworth as being related to the development of attachment theory. Two of these people, Harry Harlow and Mary Ainsworth, are the focus for this review. John Bowlby was the pioneer. He believed that attachment was really just a product of the survival impulse. Harry Harlow, through his work with rhesus monkeys, believed that contact comfort, touch, was really the factor that promoted attachment in these deep emotional bonds. And Mary Ainsworth studied the types of attachment, and we're going to see an example of her work in just a bit. So, yesterday we looked at some of the competing early ideas. This, of course, the psychoanalytical theory believed that mothers had the advantage because of breastfeeding. They were the primary source of nutrition. The behaviorists disagreed with the psychoanalytical theory, as they generally did, and they believed that infants became attached to people who met their needs. So, really looking at the idea of reinforcement and learning through association. That's our bell system. I'll give that a moment. So those were the early ideas of attachment. And what we're going to take a quick look at is Harlow's monkey study. First period, yes, you've seen this video clip, so you can skip it if you'd like to. But the rest of the classes, as you watch this video clip, I want you to be able to identify both the independent variable, that's the manipulated variable, and the dependent variable, the variable that's measured. And I also want you to pay attention to how much time the monkey spent with either the wire monkey with the feeding tube or the non-feeding monkey, but had terry cloth wrapped around it for additional comfort. All right, so take a look at the video and then be ready to answer those questions. Okay, so hopefully you were able to pick out the variables. So which is it? Is it the independent variable, bell again, or the dependent variable? There it is. Okay. So is the type of monkey mother the independent variable or the dependent variable? Yes, it is the independent variable. And that, of course, means that the amount of time that the monkey preferred to spend with the terry cloth monkey was the dependent variable because that's what they were measuring. So we can take Harlow's work and we can apply it to human babies. In fact, we've actually already done this with Jeannie. Jeannie, of course, was raised in social isolation. She had very limited touch and contact comfort, and we saw how that related to her social, emotional, physical, and intellectual development. We now know that touch promotes growth. And hospitals, of course, invite people in and pay people to give skin-to-skin contact, hold babies, because we know that this promotes growth. Fathers, no worries. As long as you are responsive, consistent caregivers, you will equally bond and attach to your children. And there used to be this conversation surrounding daycares. Is it better to keep your kids at home, a stay-at-home parent, or is it okay to send kids to daycare while the parents are working? And the reality is, as long as the daycare is high quality and responsive, there really should be no difference as far as the overall emotional, social, intellectual, physical well-being of your children. This link right here will show you another application when we are looking at deprivation, so being deprived of physical touch. Don't watch it now, but that'll be something that you guys can watch a little bit later as another example. So what we're going to turn our attention to now is Mary Ainsworth's strange situation. She invited many parents and babies to come into her lab and make observations. So this is called the strange situation. And what she did is she placed herself behind this this one-way mirror. So she could see what was going on in the room, but they couldn't see her. So she observed how the parents and the babies interacted in this new room filled with toys and things to do. Then she invited a stranger to come in, and she observed how the baby reacted to this. Then Mary Ainsworth had the parent leave the room and left the baby alone in the room with a stranger. She observed what happened. And then she was really interested in how the baby responded and reacted when the parent came back. So let's take a look at this clip, and then we're going to discuss whether or not the baby you see in this clip has a secure or insecure attachment. So go ahead and take a look at this, and then we'll discuss. Okay, welcome back. So the infant that you saw in this video had what Mary Ainsworth called a secure attachment. The way she characterized this was the ability of the child to confidently explore a new environment when the parents are there. And the reason she believes this is exhibiting a secure attachment is because the kid feels comfortable moving away from the parent because they have come to realize that this parent is a consistent caregiver, and they're using the parent as a safety net. So if the baby is startled by something or scared by something in this new environment, they easily could go back to the parent. She also noted, Mary Ainsworth also noted, that securely attached babies became distressed when the parents left. This makes a lot of sense. Of course, when their safety net is removed, they become upset. But then when the parent came back into the room, the baby was able to seek immediate contact and to be consoled easily, so fairly quickly. So these are the three characteristics of a secure attachment. The one-third of the group that she studied had what she believed was an insecure attachment. These babies were much less likely to explore the new environment because they didn't have perhaps as responsive caregivers. So they weren't really able to use their parent as that safety net like the securely attached babies were. So they were much less likely to explore. They also cried very loudly when the mother left, or they seemed to be indifferent to her departure because perhaps they were used to this kind of unresponsive or unpredictable parenting. And when the mother came back, they were likely to be either inconsolable or again have kind of an ambivalent or indifferent attitude to her. So Harlow's monkeys, they were clearly terrified when the artificial mothers were removed from the environment and most likely had an insecure attachment. So you might be wondering, well, why would they care if this very unresponsive mother was taken away? Well, it's really just that unpredictability. They don't know when the mother is coming back. They are really quite stressed out to see their only caregiver, even though it's a responsive caregiver, to be removed from the environment. Your book is going to have a lot more background on this, so I'm just trying to pull out the highlights for you right now. So that'll be something that you need to take care of to understand the characteristics of both an insecure and a secure attachment. So secure attachments, if we're looking at how they are related to our future relationships, people that have secure attachments as a young child are much more likely to be trusting and confident and more self-reliant in their adult relationships. Insecure attachments, they're much more jealousy and much more promiscuous and have more relationship insecurities. So securely attached children are much more likely to be self-reliant, confident, and trusting in their relationships, whereas the insecurely attached children have many more difficulties with adult relationships. And of course, we know that there is a critical period for attachment early on, as babies are not animals like ducks who have something called imprinting. It's a process in which these animals form an attachment during the first few days of their life. Humans have an optimal period of time where they are producing these attachments as well, or making these attachments. So we know that mere exposure and familiarity is going to add to attachment. And I think this came up in a couple of classes yesterday as well. So we're going to switch over to a